November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Lung cancer is the second most common cancer in the United States, and experts at UW Health encourage everyone to get screened. According to the American Lung Association, someone is diagnosed with lung cancer every 2.5 minutes. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death in the U.S. The U.S. Preventive Services Task Force recommends everyone between 50 and 80 who currently smoke or did smoke to get their screenings.
If the patient is if anyone between 50 years old and 80 years old smoke more than 20 years, please ask them to contact their primary care doctors.